this presentation regarding design for security methodology and how an integrated secure element, in my case I will pick up the Securizer Lite example, can support to fit your design for security methodology. I am Michel Leroland, I will be the speaker today, and I am in charge of the product marketing at SecurIC. Today, the agenda of the presentation will be a short corporate introduction regarding SecurIC. Then I will detail the design for security methodology before to speak about how to ensure a risk analysis, and then to detail how an integrated secure element can protect your system. I will pick up the Securizer Lite example, and then I will speak about how to upgrade, update, change a little bit an integrated secure element to have this one which completely fulfill the fact that your target has a specific need which are unique for your project. So at SecurIC, we are the only provider of end-to-end embedded cybersecurity. Our mission is to partner with our customer to provide them end-to-end embedded cybersecurity solution and to ensure the security from chip to cloud. At SecurIC, we develop security technologies for embedded systems, and so we work with chipsets or device vendor, with IC design house, with certification lab, or with governmental agencies. At SecurIC, we target several markets, including automotive, IoT, smart grid, media and entertainment, edge and cloud, for example. Few words relative to SecurIC history. SecurIC was founded in 2010 as a spin-off of a French university called Télécom Paris Tech. Thanks to our co-founder, our history is based on more than 15 years of embedded system security research. In terms of key results, we deployed our first certified product in 2012 and our first million of chips in 2015. We now have a 4th research center, 2 in France, 1 in Singapore, 1 in Japan, and now we are seen as an industry leader thanks to the fact that we deploy more than 1 billion IP per quarter, the fact that we have more than 100 customers worldwide, and also our solutions are silicon proven in multiple foundry and multiple technology nodes, including the most recent one. At SecurIC, we have what we call the PESC approach. PESC is for protect, evaluate, service, and certify. The goal of this approach is to have a progressive path to partner to support our customer from their security requirement to a certified product. It is based on 3 different products. The Securizer for protect. Here we deliver to our customers some security IP, including integrated secure element, to be embedded inside their main SoC to offer to the system several security functionalities. The Laborizer for the evaluation part. Here we provide security evaluation tools to allow our customer to check the security level of their system. And the Expertizer for service and certify. Here it is separated into 2 parts. The support from our expert to help our customer to define their security specification, and also the support to certification to allow our customer to pass their targeted certification. So the first product for Securizer, the main aspect is an integrated secure element to be embedded inside the main SoC to offer several security functions to the embedded system. The Laborizer where we have 3 different evaluation tools to allow our customer to check their security level during their design lifecycle, the virtualizer to ensure pre-silicon security evaluation, the catalyzer for the software part, and the analyzer for real device evaluation. So on physical device, smartphone, automotive ECU, IoT system, etc. And then the expertizer, where we have different parts, some consulting, some training, support to certification, evaluation as a service, and also our innovation engine called the Security Science Factory. Let's move to some detail regarding the design for security methodology. So the design for security can really be seen as a design thinking applied to security. It means that it is a progressive path during your design. It starts with some steps before to answer the design with identification of the asset of the goal, identification of the potential threat, etc. During the design with some analysis regarding this threat, with code review, and also after the design with the certification, the test plan, etc. So this methodology is ensured in several steps. The first one, which is to understand and define the security needs. The idea here is to detect what can be the potential threat on the system, what can be what is the targeted security certification, if any, of course. Then we have the second step, which is to analyze the risk to set up the right specification level. Here we make really the threat analysis, as we will speak about just after, and to understand what are the potential threats on the system and what are the countermeasures to be associated to mitigate this threat and protect the system. Then we have the design phase. In this phase, we can, of course, easily iterate to build a secure system. Then we have the test to validate that the security level is the expected one. And then when we have the expected security level to finish the product and ensure the go-to-market phase. In terms of security evaluation, it is really important that security testing can be ensured during all the complete development cycle. It means that at every development steps to ensure some security evaluation at architecture, at pre-silicon level, for example, on your RTL code to validate that the security level is well aligned with the expected specification, at software layer, of course, for the software part, and also on the final product, it can be ensured on test chip or on end user device. The main advantage to do it on test chip is that it's happened in a white box context. So it means that the evaluator can make some security evaluation faster. Let's speak about the risk analysis and how to ensure it. Let's start with some glossary to begin. So the risk analysis is consisting to define what are the potential threats in a system and what can be the impact on these threats and how to protect the system. So in practice, it starts by the target, an asset. An asset is a sensitive data or a sensitive properties which need to be protected inside the system, which is important inside the system. We can speak about privacy, about confidentiality, about availability, about authenticity of data, etc. A threat is a threat which can be applied to this target, and so it means a threat to break properties on an asset. An asset can be exposed to a vulnerability. So a vulnerability, it means an issue, you can say like that, in the design where which can be used by an attacker, as we will see later, to modify an asset, to corrupt an asset, to tamper an asset. And so, as I said, a vulnerability can be, or maybe, exploited by an attack. So it can be, for example, something ensured by a hacker and an exploit on your system. To protect against attack, the idea is to embed countermeasure. It's some mitigation, some protection to be embedded in the system to make an attack not possible on it. And it is this countermeasure and the fact that this one well protects against an attack, which is evaluated by the evaluator, for example, during the certification. Let's pick up, to be more concrete, some examples relative to asset and threats. So here you have different cases and the associated asset for each of them. Of course, it is just one example. In automotive, it is safety, which is important. In end user or business, it is the privacy or the confidentiality, which can be important. In industry, it can be the availability. And associated to that, you can have a potential threat. It means the brake can fail if in your car. It can be hacked by a hacker in your car, for example, if you don't pay. Some data or activity can be disclosed to corrupt the privacy or the confidentiality point. The fab can be stopped if you don't pay. Here, the idea is to threat the availability asset. In an infrastructure, here, for example, we have example of IoT infrastructure where you have the embedded system here, the gateway, the cloud. It can be manipulated thanks to a human-machine interface. And so in this infrastructure, you can have some vulnerabilities, some weaknesses at different places in this system. It can happen on the embedded system itself, hardware or software. It can also happen on the network layer, at the gateway also, even if you can consider that this one is in the network layer. So it is really important when a system is built using the design for security methodology to well detect, well define what can be the potential weaknesses, vulnerability in the system. One way which can be used, in addition to the TARA methodology that I will detail after, is to use existing database of weaknesses or of vulnerabilities. You have two which are really good and well detailed. So one is CWE, Common Weaknesses Enumeration, or also CVE, Common Vulnerability and Exposure. The idea is when we apply the security for design methodology is to check if what are the potential existing vulnerability and threats on a similar kind of system, or if we embed existing component to detect, to check if there is no existing weaknesses or vulnerability. in this component. One important part of the security for design methodology is to ensure a threat analysis, and especially one which is quite famous is called TARA, for threat analysis and risk assessment. This one is really an approach, a good path, which is standardized and used in several standards, such as the ISO 21434, which is relative to cybersecurity engineering for road vehicles. This methodology is ensured in several steps. The first one is the definition of the potential of the asset of the system and what can be the associated risk on the system through a gap analysis of existing product, through an architecture analysis, or also using existing CVE or CWE study, as we just speak about before. Based on that, you will detect what are the potential risks, potential threats, and attacks on the system. The idea then will be to make a quotation of how this attack, this threat can be applied in the system and how is it easy or not to ensure this attack. It means to consider what are the required skill for the attacker, what is the time to ensure this attack, what are the requested equipment to ensure this attack, etc. In parallel or before this attack, these two steps can be switched, doesn't matter. The idea will be to estimate what can be the impact of this attack. Impact on assets. Is it an attack which has some confidentiality issue, some availability issue, which can make some issue regarding authenticity of data, etc. And so, based on that, to quote the risk. Here you have few examples of matrix which are used to quote the different risks. This one is linked with a OWASP model where you have different levels in terms of likelihood of the attack, low, medium, high, and the impact of the attack. You have here an example which is used in NIST SP 830 or the one which is used in ISO 21434. The idea is to classify the attack and to define what can be the potential risk when this attack is ensured on an embedded system or an infrastructure. Then, based on this quotation, because unfortunately it is not possible to have, or really complex in terms of time and money, to have a 100% secure product, the idea is to make the priority to define the vulnerability, the threat and the attack which will be mitigated, and so to define the good countermeasure to be associated in the product. For example, depending on the targeted security level and means also to decide to cover only critical and high attack, to cover also the medium one or also the low one, etc. To define the good security level to be applied in the system and so also the good countermeasure to be applied on the system. Based on SecurIC experience and our feedback on some security projects that we deployed, our solution, here you have the most classical threats which can be applied on a system. You have one which is to steal some asset or private data or sensitive data. For example, in AI chips, this one is really popular to steal some part of the model or some part of the key which are used in the system. You have also part related with firmware extraction and counterfeiting to steal the intellectual property which can be embedded in a firmware, to ensure malware injection, for example, by ensuring some modification and re-injection of some firmware. It can be during the boot, or also linked with secure firmware update, with firmware update which are not secure, and so to ensure the device root. It can have also some physical attacks, such as a side channel attack with key recovery, the master key extraction to pick up the main key of the system and to try to apply, if the security policy is not good, a different attack on the complete fleet of system. And also one which becomes more and more popular is to mount attack which target the life cycle. And so it means to ensure privileged escalation on the life cycle, because if the life cycle is not protected, the idea is to have different. The idea with the life cycle is to have different rights depending on where we are in the life cycle. We do not want to have the same possibility in manufacturing or in field or in RMA or in end of life. If an attacker can access the design kit and mount an attack on it, it can ensure some privileged escalation or right escalation, which can be very powerful to mount an attack on the system. Here, just one example relative to automotive and the fact that can have multiple attacks which can be applied on a system. So here you have an automotive system which is complex with automotive, that this one have a lot of connection with the rest of the system, V2X, the car, other vehicle, the phone of the user, etc. And so it means that all the layers of an automotive ECU can be targeted, software layer, hardware layer, network layer, and the fact that multiple attacks can be applied on an automotive system. Let's move to see how an integrated secure element can protect your system. And in my presentation, I will pick up the Securizer Lite example. Securizer Lite is the integrated secure element IP of SecurIC. So the idea of an integrated secure element is to have a security enclave where all the security functions will be located, and this one will be in charge to provide the protection for the whole system. So it means that connected to your system interconnect, where you have application processor, communication aspect, memory, you have a security subsystem, an integrated secure element. This one will be in charge to provide several services for your system. We have service relative to the secure boot and the firmware update. We have service relative to the lifecycle management, as we speak about before. Service relative to the crypto, to usage of cryptography, for example, to ensure secure communication protocol, as it can be for TLS, for IPsec, and for also LoRaWAN protocol, for example. The Securizer is also in charge to manage the security policy and in charge to protect the key which are necessary to offer all the other services. In terms of integration, as we can see in the figure, it is quite simple because connected in the system interconnect, where you have application processor, NVM, and other memory, you have the security element which is connected here. It is connected through a mailbox to receive request order from the host system, a DMA, Secure Direct Memory Access Controller, to exchange data between the application side and the security world, an internal processor and its memory, some cryptographic capability, and other IP if needed. In addition to that, there is also two software, one which runs on the internal processor. This one is in charge to manage the root of trust, to manage the security policy and the security right, and also a host firmware which runs on the application side. This one is in charge to communicate with the securizer, for example, to manage the life cycle, to ensure cryptographic services, for example, for the secure communication protocol. So here is again these services which can be offered by the securizer, some crypto services to protect data, including in communication protocol, to the fact to manage the key, which is really important, is the original goal of secure element, the secure boot and the firmware update to ensure it in a secure way, to guarantee that when the firmware runs inside the system, this one is trusted and comes from a trusted party. The fact also to manage the life cycle. Here it's when I said all along the life, it means because it starts in the manufacturer with the key management and the key provisioning up to the end of life of the device with the fact that the key are revoked and the system is locked in a kind of suicide mode. It's also, of course, include each power-up with the secure boot, security, cryptographic services with connection with network, firmware update, etc. But something which needs to be noted that even if the securizer Light is a solution to cover the main threats which are applied on system, your system is unique. It has a specific feature which is embedded in your solution. This is why it is important to adapt this solution to your needs, to have something which ensures the best coverage of your project, of the security of your project. It can happen through a different security level, where you have here with Securizer Lite a solution which offers a coverage for a first layer in terms of security level and certification, but sometimes to target high-end product, to target higher certification, it can be necessary to add complementary protection. Also, depending on your application, your system has a specific constraint. In automotive, you have specific standard, and you also have an important point relative to the safety and the ISO 26262. And the securizer, the integrated secure element, need also to have some safety mitigation solution. In IoT, you have also, or in automation, industrial automation, you have also specific standards, such as the ISC 62433, and you can have specific constraints relative to the footprint of the solution. In some other markets, you have specific standards, specific performance requirements, etc. So the idea is that based on the security definition phase, it is important to well define the potential threats on your system and then to define the good security solution, usually an integrated secure element, but with which feature to be embedded in your system to protect and to mitigate the relevant threats. Something which is also important to note is that integrated secure element is really important to manage your to ensure the protection inside your system, but there is also a point relative for the communication between the chip and you in practice, or the cloud. It can have aspects relative, of course, to secure communication protocol, but also it is important to define how to ensure the key provisioning in a secure way, how to ensure the software management in a secure way, or if requested, how to monitor your system in a secure way. This is why at SecureIC, to support our customer, as I said at the beginning, from chip to cloud, we have developed a solution which is called Securizer Server, which is in addition to our integrated secure element to ensure key provisioning, software management, and device monitoring in a secure way with the good infrastructure. As a conclusion, so integrated secure element, and especially the Securizer Lite, which is developed by SecureIC, is the good foundation for your security strategy, because it embeds an important set of countermeasures of protection, which will cover the main threat, which can be applied to your system. This one is also fully tunable in terms of embedded performances. If you have specific requirements relative to that, we have an IP also which is fully digital and fully based on standard set. It is also important to note that our solution is certification ready with several classical security certifications such as FIPS 140-3, Common Criteria, or OSCCA for Chinese market. So if you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me by email. It will be a pleasure to answer you. And thank you for your attention and have a nice day. Bye-bye.